Hello, Revernauts. It's Chief Engineer Rever, and we are back again for another attempt at getting a man to orbit around the moon. Hopefully this goes a little bit better. I took a look at our video recording, and I have to say that we were close. I mean, it's almost bad luck. I think I tried to turn a little bit too soon while our rocket boosters were going. So let's head back into here real quick. And what I did was just some very minor changes, right? I lowered these stages down a little bit. Not much, but they used to be about even with the bottom of the craft, maybe a little bit below. Now they're almost like, you know, one painted section down, so like from here down. And then the other thing I did was I moved this engine here into this first stage, so that now what I plan on doing is not burning it at first. I'll burn it at second. But it's really not going to hurt us. I don't want, I want to keep our speed in the atmosphere down to what's reasonable. But I think we were doing pretty well with all of that. So the only other thing I'd like to do is make sure we have Pachar in there again. Yep, there we go. So very good. And yeah, that's about it. Let's give it another shot, and we're going to try to go more straight up. So just to give you an idea, that cost us about 28 grand to make that mistake. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and launch this bad boy. See if we can't kill Pachar. I mean, get him over to orbit of the moon there. All right, let's zoom out till we can see. We're going to put on our SAS. Our throttle's all the way down for now. And we can use that. One thing nice about burning this on the last stage is if we're going, we can adjust our speed slightly better than if we were just using the boosters. But again, mostly it's just to get the craft away from there a little bit quicker, right? So let's see what happens. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And we have liftoff of the Manned Orbiter 1. So far, so good. It's doing exactly what it did the last time. I watched the last flight in detail just before I started recording this. One thing I'll say is I don't want it to go mostly straight up, right? I don't mind if we get to like a little bit of tilt, but not much. We're kind of going right where we want to go. And then we'll turn up our throttles a little bit as we get down. Again, we don't want to be going too fast just because, it wastes a little bit of fuel. So, if anything, we want to tilt to the right. We're doing pretty well. Like, nothing was that wrong, right? All right, so let's turn on a little bit of throttle. Third. See how we're starting to pick up those wind effects? Not too much of that. There you go. See, so before those came back in on each other. Alright, now we should get our throttle back up. So we're at least gaining speed. Let's do full throttle for a while, right? Now we're going to start rotating. Let's rotate it to 80. Really, we could probably rotate it like 70 here. And we'll just burn like this until we get up to an orbit of about, or apoapsis about 100,000, maybe 90. We don't have a lot of extra thrust on this, but remember, this is like a whole, in a sense, compared to what we had before, whole extra stage. Now I want to tilt more now to get it, keep us in the bubble here, right? Bubble down a little bit to the 90, won't hurt. So as we climb up the apoapsis, as a matter of fact, now I'm going to turn it to 90. We're over 75 already, right? We're going to keep going up for a bit. So we'll keep that above the horizon here like this. This might just be like one one solid burn. Alright. Yeah, I mean this might not be one of those you know, wait until we're there kind of things. We might just be burning the whole time. That's not totally true. Yeah, we're staying ahead of the apoapsis. Yeah, this will be a nice. Yeah, you know, as a matter of fact, let's just cut the engines for. We got a minute to decide on our new thing, right? This was a nice little trajectory. But we need to get in here real quick. Add maneuver. Apoapsis. Let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. And yeah, let's tell this guy to go to the node. I can't see because this is in my way. Yeah, you know what? Where's our... Okay, so let's turn this off for a second. Let's do this manually. Why can't I do it manually? If this is off, I should be able to... There we go. Yeah, SAS. Prograde. It's good enough. 26 seconds. Well, I'm going to just start burning now. And let's go take a look at the vessel. Probably extend our solar panels, right? Get ready to cut off our... Alright, let's take a look at what happened there. It's a little bit off. Oops, come on. Yeah, a little bit off. That's okay. Alright, so we are going to get rid of that maneuver, and then we're going to look for where we think, where would moonrise be? Moonrise is going to be like over here, right? So if we come to here, what happened there? I don't know what I'm doing. So I think it might be a little bit before moonrise. Oops. Yeah, let's take it. Well, let's take it a little bit further. There we go. We got a bit of an intercept. So according to this, we'll get in. Oh, that's a. That was pretty good. Let's come back over to here and let's see if we can fine tune it or not. You know, we want to come in. Yeah, let's see. Can we? Well, I guess we could set our focus. No, it's not really letting me. Yeah, set focus. Yeah, you know what? That's awful good. I mean, we might be able to tweak it a little bit, but that's not letting me. Yeah, why is it not letting me? I don't know. Let's go back to that. Yeah, it's not letting me adjust it. If you notice, you know, toggle map. Orbital. Yeah, why is it not it's not letting me, yeah, so let's, what is it, tilde? Yeah, tilde sets us back to the craft. And, okay, Oh, you know what it is I think I didn't have, after I hit the set focus, I didn't have this selected. Right, so let's spin around where we can kind of see from afar. Yeah, we'll just do it this way a little bit. So if we move this, oops. Yeah, that's further. Click back. Click back. Yeah, that would be hitting it. So let's go back to this one. Let's make this a lot smaller. And we'll move it this way a bit, right? Now that's making it bigger. $64. 32. There we go. That's going to put us like right real close. Now, do we care? I don't think we care too much. We just have to get into an orbit, right? So, oh, you know what we can do? Pajar can do an EVA report. All right, so I think I like that. It's not the perfect thing, but we can reburn to get them in closer, right? All right, so let's hit let's go back to here, and let's see if we can't get him to do an EVA. Don't float off into space on me, buddy. EVA report. Transmit it. Yeah, congratulations. I think you're the first Kerbal into orbit. I mean, into an EVA. So let's just hit board because it makes me nervous to have those guys out there in space. I'm not the greatest at controlling that. All right, let's get this extended. Activate this antenna. And we can activate this antenna. So hopefully between the two, we will be able to keep good contact with them. Now again, we will be able to control it the whole time because we have an actual Kerbal in there. And okay, you know what? We can do another EVA report. Maybe not. All right, let's get back in there. Yeah, so good. I think we got some more signs for that. In any event, we have enough battery power, I think. What do we have here? World's first milestone. Perform a spacewalk. Congratulations, Pajar. Once again, you have led the way in our space program. All right, I think we're all set up here, right? Yeah, so let's set an alarm. So we're used to doing everything by our computer. When we have a manned flight, we're going to do more of it. I'll do a mix of things, but as these guys get better at holding things, we will do it that. So yeah, we have a maneuver node. Let's add an alarm, and then let's fast forward much. There we go, back out into the sun. Yeah, so I slowed that down myself. And we want to burn, well, let's get him to turn us to prograde. This is where having this bigger reaction wheel kind of makes things a lot easier. There we go. So it's not quite prograde that we want to be at. Yep, close the alarm. All right, so this is how much we're going to change in that time. So if we just hold it on prograde while we fast forward. Now we need to burn for 24 seconds. So this is going to be up to us this time. So let's fast forward. That means we should burn at around the 12-second mark on our countdown here. So let's keep going. Yeah, there's moonrise. Why is that? Okay, so we're burning well after what like normal moonrise, right? Look at the engines raring to go. They're just like jiggling themselves into. Yeah, let's turn off our alarm clock so we can see better. Yeah, we can turn off the X sign so we can see better. All right, 46 seconds. Everything ready. Full throttle burn. Yeah, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit more. I didn't really stop other than I noticed we were getting far off our marker there, right? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I'm going to go look at the map mode now. Now. What I'll try to do is when we get far enough into this, we're going to try to slow down. Like, we don't have to burn. It's going to start moving like really fast at a point here. So turn the throttle down. And we don't have to burn, like, just keep that thing moving a little bit slow. And we'll just get ready to cut it off. All right. Let's get rid of this node. That's pretty darn close, right? Moon periapsis, 449. So see, just a little bit of, look, we're, I don't know if I care which way we, yeah, look at that, you know, goofiness. Yeah, so I don't like the way we came around the other side of it. So let's see if we can't do that's very different than what I was expecting. Now, how far this, let's add a maneuver, but we're going to do it a little bit further away, right? Just so we have, yeah, three minutes should be enough time to do a little maneuvering here and see what happens. We can use this here. Yeah, I know I could set focus, but I wasn't having a lot of luck with that. Boy, look at all that. There we go. Oh, that's missed the moon altogether. Yeah, so the problem is we're kind of, catching up with it in a weird way, right? Now, one thing we could probably do is, actually, this might have more effect than we realize too. Like burn, see how everything's like on a different plane? Yeah, see now we're kind of burning, well, we burned up, so we're getting a lot closer now. Let's go a little bit further. See what this does. Yeah, see, we're kind of, the problem is now we're kind of behind it. Like when we're coming in too late because remember I said that we didn't burn soon enough, so I think, could we burn? Yeah, so that's the other way. Yeah, this might be going the wrong way. Yeah, let's try to come back this way. Will that flip around for us? So, like, in other words, I'm running out of time here let's turn this up. I don't want to burn too much fuel up either. We won't be able to get them back. You know what, that's on the purple. Yeah, let's do some retrograde. Now, as soon as we do retrograde, oh, that's all right. You know what, let me get rid of this maneuver node because it's just too out of whack. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with this, and then let's see what we can do. This is gonna be goofy too because we're gonna want to burn prograde, I think. Now prograde will push us right past it. Retrograde, we sort of have to, yeah, there we go. Oops. Let's just go till we get a very minimal, there we go. That should be, very awkward, but doable. Right, I don't know how well you guys can see. Let's see, can we click on the moon? Yeah, set view. There we go. So let's zoom in on here and maybe you guys can see it better. Of course, the maneuver node, but that'll get our periapsis all the way down to 24. which will bring them nice and close. Now we're going to be at a goofy angle there, but we can always set another burn for later on, like right here, to try to flatten that out if we want before we return. As long as we get captured and around the moon, we should be in good shape. All right, so I'm going to pause the video here, and I will be back in a minute when we're ready to go with the next mission. See you guys in a sec. Okay, we're back here again. I took a quick look while I was paused, and I think what we want to do is start to design. Probably that's all we'll get done in this episode, but we'll design a little bit of our next mission and give you guys a taste of what's to come, right? But I want to do some things, and I didn't want to do them off camera exactly, so that you guys could see what you would need to do if you wanted to do the same thing. So we have these missions here, and one of them is a manned Kerbin orbital docking, right? So what we want to do, let's see, let's go into here where we can read it maybe a little bit easier. We'll go to our active missions. So what we need to do is, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do this and another mission or two, but we need to go up there and we need to launch some kind of a satellite, a probe, and then dock with it, right? Pretty simple sounding. It gets a little tricky, but it'll be a pretty cool next episode, to get it to where we can actually dock with something, right? But in order to do that, we're going to need to get some science. So I already got the science to do this, but then I was thinking about it. It's like, well, let's go over here to all. And this is an awful lot like a station, right? So, if we're going to do all of this, could we actually get a base communication station here? Let's see, where is it? Launch a new space station, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got everything met, but have to unlock the PPD hitchhiker storage container, right? So let's go see how we can do that, right? So let's go back out here. Now, one thing I want to do, let's see, let's go find this PPD. So I think from what I was looking at was over here. So PPD, see, it's not there. There it is, hitchhiker. But the problem is that we need to upgrade our science building, our research center. This will be one of our bigger cost upgrades. Just so you guys know, the other thing I did was I got us this fuel systems. So I purchased this, and I purchased this advanced construction, because the advanced construction has the clampetron, right? And the fuel systems just has some more of these mono propellant tanks. There's some more options for us when it comes to the fuel tank. So it's just not a bad thing to own at that point, right? So let's go back out of here for 1 second. Let's come here. Let's upgrade this. This is a lot of our moolah going away. Well, not going away, but going towards upgrading this. All right, so we'll come back into here. And now we're going to need to get space exploration, right? So we'll research that in order to be able to research advanced exploration. So there we go. So now we have the ability to get this hitchhiker storage container where we could put up to four crew up there. So let's leave the facility, and we will come back into our mission control. And sometimes it takes it a minute to update, but there it goes. Now this, at first I thought, what is this, like a sub mission? I think it's just probably when the mod was added, it just doesn't. So we can launch a moon station, right? And I don't think these are, actually related. So I'm not sure what's the difference here. It's almost like there's a conflict, right? So now we only have 1 day before this one expires. I'm not sure why they're not giving us much time, but what we want is the Kerbin station mission, right? And we could talk about this at some future point. Right? We probably don't want to fast forward too much time before we decide, because do we want to get that's a Minmus station, I see. Yeah, it's a shame that expires so quickly, but let's launch the Kerbal space station, or at least accept the contract, I should say. There we go. So there we go. So we spent quite a bit of our science, but hey, we knew we needed to do that. And that's one of the reasons I didn't do too much of that kind of thing before. So there we go. So we've got another mission, and it's a exceptional mission. So that should get us a good amount of money, 112,000. So we'll see if we can complete or get both of these. I'm not sure if this is going to be considered a probe if we build a new vessel. Right? Well, I don't think we want to use this one, but yeah, so let's start off with a new vessel. And what I'm going to do at this point is fast forward time while I put together what I think will be the beginning of our space station, the unmanned portion. Sound good? So I will talk to you guys in a minute. Okay, here's our little spaceship, our little fat guy. He, it's not the most pretty ship. I think I have to, let's edit the fairing here, right? Airstream protective shell. Can I build fairing? Okay. Probably because I hit escape. Yeah, let's see. Can we come in a little bit tighter? Will that? Yeah, and then maybe right there. You like it? Let's see. Can we roll up and roll in a bit? There we go. All right, so let me talk about the features besides the fairing. So what I've done from past experience is I went out and got us the full clampatron, right? Because in the future, that's really what we'll be using all the time, right? It was sort of a big expense as far as 160 science. There's a few debates I had. If we look at the contract here, launch the space station, it says optional, put a science lab on there, but there's another future mission where we can bring a science lab up, and then the cupola, which is another optional thing here, would cost us another 160 science, and I really don't want to spend that at this point. So unfortunately, we're just not prepared to do that. But I think we have everything. Docking node, the hitchhiker here holds 4 people. So, we have a docking node. We'll put it into orbit, and it will be a station, and hopefully we'll stay in orbit for more than 2 days, right? So I put on a couple extra of these docking ports. It's usually easier to dock, in line with the vessel, but we have ways of docking to the side here. So that would give us options to add, just more modules to this, sort of like the International Space Station was built in a similar way. So we have a Communitron type thing, which I think lets us send back the data well. I don't know if we can do it with just this Communitron 16. So I put this extra, I think this extra Communitron here will help us get some extra data back and forth. I'm hoping. As long as we have control, we can always send something else up in the future, right? But I put 4 the most powerful solar panels that we have here so far. And that way, no matter which way we're oriented, we should always be able to pick up a good amount of sun. We have RCS thrusters with an RCS fuel tank here. We have an extra inline stabilizer here, and that's really to get the whole thing launched, but you might as well try to put it on this. Now we have the clampatrons here, so, down the road we can detach this whole thing, well, it won't be these, but this whole section from it, right? And then be able to attach something else here. Now hopefully we'll have enough fuel and we'll leave this attached, and when we go to do the second part of the mission, we can clamp to one of these others. Now, once this thing gets more sophisticated, we can get rid of this portion. And if you look, we have a SETI probe stack in here. So, and I also put a antenna on this so that we could at least control it enough to get it out of orbit, right? Like we may be able to retro burn and just have it come back into the atmosphere and burn up. But either way, we'll be able to disconnect it and then still control it possibly enough to destroy it type thing. Other than that, we got a few extra batteries on there. I wish I had the bigger batteries at this point, but we don't. I guess, can we tweak scale these? Yeah. Now, does that hold more charge when we do that? Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. You know what we're doing? Let's, yeah, now can we, no, we can't tweak scale that, but that's okay. Now the problem with this might be, can we still select this guy? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm happy with that. Yeah, that was nice. I mean, yeah, not the end of the world, but the extra. Oop, come on. What's going on? Come on, zoom out. Got myself into a mode. Yeah, threw off our fairing a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just it's not enough for me to want to redo it. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. Oh, we got a couple lights just to make docking a little bit easier. Now we don't have any on here, but hopefully if we, because it seems like every time you go to dock, you do it in the dark. So we've got an extra couple lights just to help us with the docking if we need it. Yeah, and there we go. So I think we have a satellite. Just another thing to note, if you're building your own, is if we were to come here and this engine's going to burn at the same time, but if you separate them out, you'll see that this guy wouldn't have nearly enough thrust on his own. Now these guys, will give us a good amount of thrust at that point. And actually, you know what? It's probably better to switch these around to see. Yeah, let's put these two down here. Right, so like if we just tried to burn these two rockets with everything attached, we would have 0.1, and that's a little bit low, right? But this is kind of exactly where you might want your booster. And then this guy, which is kind of low, right? But remember, we're going to burn off some fuel, and once we're up in the air a bit, we don't need, as much. So in other words, like, when it comes to this is a little bit deceiving, because it's kind of showing you like the thrust is actually going to be at the maximum like here. Once we lose some more of this weight, it would be like this S1 up here, because see how S1 is the decoupling. So we're going to go from having this to that, right, as a potential. But the most important thing is that we got 3.7, and we should need 3,700. And we should need around 3,400 to get into orbit. So I think that all makes sense here. Let's move this back down into here. Get rid of that one. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, the airstream, what that could actually be. Yeah, you know what? If we haven't kicked that off by the time we... Well, no. You know what? Sorry. We want to do that second, just in case, because we're going to kick those off earlier. So yeah, it's a little bit goofy the way it's doing this right here, in my opinion. But this will work. We'll have, close to 2 maximum thrust. So when we go to take off, we're going to keep our thrust a little bit low on this guy, which is great, because that's, you want to, enough, but not overkill. So there we go. So you'll have to wait until the next episode, and we'll see if we can't get this guy sent up and orbiting, and he won't be able to do anything, but at the least he'll be up there and ready for the next portion of our contract. There you go, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.